Section 21 in the tutorial talks about the NuGet package manager, and we're not going to spend a lot of time here, and there's not really a lot of exercises to do. We played with this tool many times in our .NET classes, but I kind of feel obliged to record the video, and I'm being real frank here because it's in the tutorial, so I'm just doing it. You guys should know that when you're working with anything in the .NET environment, one thing that we have available to us is a package management tool called the NuGet Package Manager. In the old days, we actually used to run the Package Manager console, which is a command line tool. And I think we actually had played with that. I forget if it was this class or a different one, where you can actually type commands in at a prompt within Visual Studio. In this case, what they're really showing us is how to use the tool and what it does. I'm not requiring you guys to do this as an exercise, but there's an interface that you bring up within Visual Studio. You find the thing that you want. It might be like the jQuery library, for example. You click the install button, it downloads it, installs it into your project. And really what's happening is it is built into the project. In some cases, you see sometimes you do build and compile code and it compiles into your project. But a lot of times when you're doing web stuff, you're really just pulling in things like jQuery, frameworks and things like that that get added in. So usually you're just unzipping and dropping stuff into folders. Why that's a nice tool is because it really kind of automates a lot of the stuff that normally you might have to worry about, adding, going out to the web, for example, and pulling down jQuery and then dropping it into a folder. Or if you didn't like that approach, maybe linking to a live library out there somewhere. The thing that I do want to point out, especially if you're using the newer versions of Visual Studio, and actually what I'll do is I'll just bring that up really quick. And if I do want to add a NuGet package, it's right here on the menu. The one thing I do want to point out, though, is that they have a new package manager inside of Visual Studio 2017. My experiments with this thus far have been minimal, but I'm wondering where Microsoft's going with this, that they bothered to put a new system in place. I'm going to actually click this and bring it up. And from what I see of this, it looks like a lot like the NuGet package manager in 2017. But I think that what's going to be different here is that maybe the amount of libraries that are available are a little bit simpler, and in fact they are. So if you look at some of the stuff that is available, though, they do seem to be focused more around straight up web development and some of the more modern frameworks that are out there. So I don't know if some of these are not available in NuGet. I mean, certainly Bootstrap is and jQuery is, absolutely. And I'm not sure about a lot of these because I frankly just have not played with them. I see that Angular has their user interface libraries built in here, but this is something that you guys could experiment and play with if you like. So going back over to the tutorial, wherever my PDF went, there it is. You guys already know how to do this, so I'm not going to belittle you with how to do it. You have done that before. You find the tool that you want, and if you don't find it already somewhere on your system, you go out to the web and you search it. Entity Framework is a big one that we add in, and as you just saw, that is not available from the other package manager. That's only from NuGet. All right, so they just give you an example of adding the Entity Framework. We've already done that in this course, so I find that a little kind of odd that they're placing that, as a section this late in the book. Like you guys don't know how to do it, but here you go. Everything you want to know about the NuGet package manager. And then they also show you that if you're looking inside your application to find where these packages are stored, the source files and folders, they are located actually directly inside of your application. They're not like put in outside folders, because really what happens is you build the application, it's all bundled together, and that way when you go to deploy it, it's all delivered at once as one consistent package. All right, that ends section 21, and then I am going to move on to section 22. I'm going to record that in a separate video, though, so this is a real short one. It's over.